on www.gig.org to explore our Global Issues Gateway website. It will amaze you. It gives you access to some powerful learning tools, and it also highlights what's happening on campus. You also might consider a contribution to our faculty-edited online journal, Exploring Globalization. Did you attend any of the UN Pathways lectures or video conferences from the UN? Were you here when we welcomed last year's Secretary General Ban Ki-moon? Have you had dinner with an ambassador yet? Since 2002, we've had at least 2 ambassadors visit each New Jersey campus each semester. By my count, the total is approximately 50. Tell me another university that offers such a richness of access to diversity and information. There isn't one. Did you participate in any of the hot topics or interrogating boundaries discussions on global issues? If not, give one a try. You won't be disappointed. Have you yet worked with the Office of Global Learning to add an international dimension to your courses? Have you collaborated with the Office of Educational Technology to bring global resources from the web and interactive media to the classroom? Give Jason Scorza or Kathy Kelly a call. They will introduce you to a world of possibilities, opportunities, and assistance. There's so much more to say about this incredible university that you have created over the last decade. I could talk about faculty with global research and collaboration. I could talk about new programs and courses with international dimensions. I could talk about dual degree programs with institutions around the world. And I could certainly talk on about the strength and continuing strength of our Roxton College campus. I'd also remind you of the growth of enrollment. We're the largest private university of New Jersey yet again. And I could mention the fact that we've become an increasingly selective institution. I could talk about the great success of the most ambitious capital campaign in our history, FDU Now, the campaign for Fairleigh Dickinson University. It has raised more than $40 million. And that's more than this institution has raised in its entire history. People are inspired by what they see happening here, and they're eager to support and play a role in our continued success. But you know, in changing times, we have kept faith with our foundation, the emotional ties that bind us, the family-like bonds that connect us, and the overwhelming degree of commitment to each other. It has made this community a place in which you wish to stay. It's more than a collection of individuals. My wife, Susan, and I were welcomed by you a decade ago. You invited us in, and we are joyful to be part of this family. Thank you. Thankful you for who you are. Thank you for what you represent. Thank you for what you have created. The Fairleigh Dickinson University is a different university than it was a decade ago. But you know, it's also a different world than it was 10 years ago. The world has changed. The recent economic crises have affected all dimensions of our work. And you know the sacrifices we're making, and you know the constraints we face. But so too does every college and university in America. We know that demographic changes will drastically alter the look of our campuses. The number of new high school graduates will continue to decline now until 2015. And there will be a dramatic change in the racial, economic, age, and ethnic mix of our population. The largest growth segment will be Hispanic students, a majority of whom will be first-generation college students coming from low-income households. The growth of for-profit education industry will continue, despite or maybe because of the recent economic crises. Enrollment rates are skyrocketing for for-profit schools. The world of higher education is rapidly changing. Simply put, a more diverse range of students will have a greater number of learning alternatives. We have got to adapt to this environment. The Fairleigh Dickinson University of 2019, 10 years from now, must not be the FDU of 2009. The model of today must not be the model of tomorrow. I emphatically challenge us that we must adjust, we must alter, we must change, we must take a new view so that 10 years from now, in 2019, we look back with equal change as we've just done back to 1999. When our mission was announced in 2000, we were in the vanguard. Today, the term global is seemingly everywhere. ACE recently reported that close to half of all the colleges and universities now make specific reference to international or global education in their mission statements. So where do we go from here? What about us can be different and exceptional? We've got to look to the next iteration of FDU. What will define Fairleigh Dickinson University in 2019? Beginning now, and together with you, I would like to envision the next decade. We must move beyond the limits of our sight to envision what might be. I challenge us, you and me, to spend the coming year to talk, to hope, to analyze, to strategize, to aspire, and to dream. We need your ideas. The directions we travel from here and the speed at which we move is not defined by above. It is instead guided by the collective wisdom and purpose of a motivated community. Let's begin to ask, what if? Just think what we might be able to do for our students. What if every FDU student either studied abroad or spent some time living and learning in another culture? What if we better used the diversity of our own region as a learning tool? Time spent on a Navajo Indian reservation could bring new cultural insights. Or go to downtown Fort Lee, where you get a genuine taste of Seoul, Korea. What if all FD courses were blended or web-enhanced to better utilize the resources of the internet and further bring the world into each classroom? What if we expanded our global network with new international affiliations for every single program in the university, offering a dual degree program, a dual degree with another institution somewhere else in the world? What if we further expanded the successful model of FDU Vancouver? Where in the world do you want FDU to be? Buenos Aires? Nairobi? Al Rifa, Bahrain? What if we traveled more along our UN pathways and strengthened our connections with the single world body where hopefully decisions and change is possible? What if students begin to seize the enormous benefits of the Fulbright program? We had this incredible joy last semester of learning that senior Ramatu Musa became the first FDU student in recent history to win a Fulbright fellowship. What if we set the goal by 2019 that 10% of all the faculty in this institution will have received a short or long-term grant as a Fulbright scholar? What if we created our own for-profit division, sharing profits with participants, just as a corporation does, allocating shares and distributing earnings? What if we required every freshman, incoming freshman, to have his or her own passport? What if 10% of our full-time faculty served as FDU delegates on a United Nations Congo committee? What if we actually issued an e-book to every freshman containing every textbook required for their entire freshman year? These are just a few examples. More ideas must come from you. The scope of our vision of what might be is not defined by one person or one moment. We have a wealth of creativity.